She's always getting stuff like that from, and it took me about 12 hours to explain my genius plan to her. But by the end of Future Rat Boy, she'd got the idea. Leave it to me, Barry, she said, and I put my hand up to high five her, and she granny kissed it. That's how I came to be going to school wearing this bright yellow knitted woolen nose. You look like an idiot, said Bunky. I look like a Future Boy in the episode where his nose gets run over by a bus. I said his nose was all flat and keel in that episode. Yours is fat and unkeel. Shut up, Bunky, I said, but it came out up, Donkey, because of my nostrils being blocked by all the wool. I hate Bunky even though he's my best friend in the whole wide world. Amen. The first lesson was science with Mr. Hodgepodge, who has crossed eyes and a bent finger. So when he points at someone, it's hard to know who he's talking to. What's the mustardy on your face, Barry loser? He shouted, pointing at Anton Maldu and looking at face goggles. It's my Future Boy nose, I said, but it came out its die. Future that does. Well, take it off. You look like an anteater, he said. So I took it off and put it back on as soon as he looked away, which was immediately. Because I was so yellow and woolly as I looked from left to right, so read what Mr. Hodgepodge was writing on the board. All I could see was my nose bobbling around in front of me, which I didn't mind because I blocked out my view of cool girls. Oh, your fake nose is hitting my hair, said Tracy Pilchard, which was stupid because it wasn't there, and hair can't hurt. Oh, mine too, said Donatella. Then Janelle said, yeah, mine is Wellington's, which I didn't chuckle through my nose about because she said Wellington's. It's not funny, Barry, an annoying nose, Donatella Frisky shouted, and everyone laughed, even Miss Hodgepodge sat down rubbing in my ear. That was lovely. Thanks, Darren, I said to confuse him, but I'm not sure it worked because of my blocked up nose and him being thick. At first, Bake is really excited about showing off my nose to everyone in the playground. So I ran out of science. The trouble was that's what with it bobbling around in front of me was yellowly. I could see Auntie Martha's lunchbox that he'd left just lying in the middle of the hall, and I tripped over and it and landed right outside the girls' toilet. Serve you right for holding my hair, said Tracy, walking past with her plastic jewellery all rattling. Yes, Sharonella, got loads of your woolly boogies in her perm, Donatella said. Sharonella just stood there, and from where I was lying, I could look up with her nostrils and see her actual boogies. At the first break, I was really excited about showing off my nose to everyone in the playground, so I ran out of science. The trouble was that with it bobbling around in front of me all yellowly, I couldn't see Aunt Marty's lunch. I thought I told you to take that nose off, Barry, Auntie Hodgepodge said in art while we were supposed to be drawing that what right in front of us. My picture was really long, nose going off into the distance with the wall behind it, which is probably the most boring drawing in the history of the world. Amen. At lunch, Bunky didn't want to sit opposite me because of my nose taking up so much space. So in front of me there was just an empty chair having lunch with your invisible friend, Barry Lost a Nose, said Darren, queuing up for his Funkel and chips. Ha ha, it's a good Bunky, leaning over to Aunt Marty. Look, and then Barry having lunch with his invisible friend. He laughed, but Andy didn't join in because he actually has got an invisible friend and he gets jealous of other people. Time goes slower and longer your nose is, and the afternoon was my slowest one ever. Time 10. Bunky tried to cheer me up on the walk home by ripping my nose off and putting it round his neck, pretending he was Granny Harpenduck with one of her scarves. Oh, where did I put my glasses so I can watch Future Ratman? He said, and I laughed for the first time all day. My head feeling light from the nose. Then Darren appeared behind us, all snuffly from running with his frontal belly, and started throwing balls at me and singing his losses song, which ruined my life all over again because it had been sunny day before. When I woke up the next morning, I had a tan everywhere except where my fake nose had been. I was worried Darren might call me Barry Pale Nose or something, so I decided I'd distract him with one of my genius plans. Before my granddad got really old, his job was going round at midnight changing the broken light bulbs in lampposts using two stilts instead of a ladder. Never trust a ladder, Barry shouted down at me from his stilt, wobbling around about and waving his arms. All the light bulbs dropping and smashing everywhere. When they sacked him, he gave me the stilts, which is why I was walking to school with them right now. Morning, I shouted down at Bunky in his granddad voice, and he looked around, but all he could see were still legs and no me. It was Granddad. Is that you? He said, and I couldn't tell if he was serious. Then he happened up, told me you thinks she's uncle. I said, trying to sound scary. I'm sorry, Invis Granddad. I won't do it again, Bunky said, and he looked up at me and shouted, not race you to school, I said, and in about 3 steps I was there. Bunky running as fast as he could, but still taking 9 hours. What's all this crazy business, said Mr. Hodgepodge when I came into the classroom. It's my new look, I shouted down at him. Kill times 10 or what? But I now. Loser, he shouted, pointing at Donatella and looking at Sharonella. That's not fair, cried Donatella, and she burst into tears. Tracy Pilchard ran over, screeching, emergency group Huggingtons, and they all cuddled each other until Tracy Pilchard noticed Sharonella's new hairband, and they started talking about that instead. That was about as good as the morning got for me. What would Mr. Hodgepodge explain for the billionth time to cool girls about his crossed eyes and bent finger, then making me stand outside for the whole rest of the lesson like I was a tree. Mr. Hodgepodge, it's raining, I shouted after 19 hours. Even though it wasn't, but he was too busy telling Stuart Sevendrick to stop flicking his boogies at frozen twigs to hear me. Dan, who sits in the back row, had turned his chair round, and I was staring at me through the glass. Mr. Hodgepodge, it's raining, he mouthed in a luscious way, waving his arms around like branches, which got me worried. That was what I looked like so far. For the rest of the lesson, I kept quiet and made a story up in my head about a tree falling on him. At lunch, I could see down into everybody's lunchboxes because of how tall I was, which was actually really boring. Here, Ducky, Bunky was saying, throwing bits of food into my mouth, but missing half of it, landing in Sharonella's hair, which was on top of her stupid head. Sharonella's got sandwiches and crisps in her hair. By stupid legs. Tracy Pilchard shouted at me from the ground, and I was worried she could see the boogies up my nostrils. Ha ha, Barry's stupid legs, laughed Bunky, and I stepped on his toe with my stilt when then said, sorry, then whispered not.